protect and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
What would you do if I sang out of tune?
Significant changes in American
Would you
social
stand
history.
up and walk out?
I think we're going to have a unified party, and I think the crying need for change is going to be the factor that keeps us unified.
Take my hand, take the knot from the enemy's off. I tell you, must get it and pull it down.
There's no simple solution. There's no happy solution. It's going to hurt.
Youth has always been the age of rebellion.
So help me God.
20 years ago, the nation rang in the new year with a new president, Richard M. Nixon, while Maryland bid farewell to their governor, now Vice President Spiro T. Agnew. There was no crystal ball to foresee the future, only a turbulent past to shape it. It was hard to believe that a man who would be vice president had just a few months ago undergone the wrath and rage of Baltimore. Those who lived during those trying times can never forget.
It was a very, very explosive time. And unfortunately, it wasn't a time of a give and take, of mediation. It was a time of confrontation. It was trench warfare, really. And those of us who were there at that time had to deal with it. And I was there.
Tonight in Baltimore, we experienced our first significant disorder.
Thomas D'Alessandro III had been mayor for only 4 months when Baltimore watched in shocked silence the angry riots that burned across the nation after the death of Dr. Martin Luther King. 2 days later, near the Old Town Mall, Baltimore's silence quickly turned to rage.
We have proclaimed a state of emergency in Baltimore City and Baltimore County. A curfew has been imposed in Baltimore City from 4 p.m. to 6 a.m., and in Baltimore County from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., except for officially approved emergency reasons. While today we are pressed to confront force with force, put down violence, douse fire.
All the places in East Baltimore and Northeast Baltimore where I shopped and I was familiar with, was looted or burned.
Every available unit of the Maryland National Guard has been fully mobilized and deployed.
Well, I participated in some things. Personally, I wish not to say at this particular time or so on, but it was just existing.
Nor will we tolerate those few who would take the law into their own hands.
I guess I really had the same anger in me as the people who were out in the street.
You can go into a neighborhood and smell a little smoke of a fire, but can you imagine a city block, a fire?
We know now as never before that violence is no friend to freedom, and that the mob is no ally of civil rights.
You either blow off or blow up, and they blew up. The intensity of the moment was so extreme until black people felt that they had to do something, rightly or wrongly, but they had to do something that would let the world know that our hearts hurt. And the desperation is not something that's black. The desperation is anywhere people push other people down.
It's bad. It's very bad. A lot of damage, unnecessary damage was done, certainly to no one's benefit. Certainly did not benefit any civil rights movement or anything else.
I don't think that, generally speaking, that these problems came about because of the assassination of Dr. King. I think while it was a catalyst, the more militant of those that were protesting, I'm not talking about the responsible leaders in the black community, because they certainly were not a part of this kind of activity or even condoning this kind of activity. But there was a subculture and a very militant number of persons within that subculture. And I must give them some credit for some of the major problems that we had.
A lot of people think I was radical, and I don't think I was. It was not popular to oppose the war. That was thought of as being a part of the radical group. It was not popular to speak in terms of black interests, black concerns. We'd just never done that before. People thought that that was radical.
My mission, when I assumed command of the forces last Sunday evening, was to restore law and order to the city of Baltimore, and I believe that mission has been accomplished.
How about keeping your line straight? That way we can get everybody to the line in a hurry, okay? I just want to make sure. Anybody in this line been burned out? Anybody have any sons or daughters? Anybody missing? Okay.
The fires just seemed to burn themselves out, but at great cost to Baltimore. 4 lives were lost, countless businesses destroyed.
This is the only glass in the country that is Underwriters Laboratory listed, and it will withstand this kind of force.
Once I leave this corner, I will never come around this corner again.
To be honest with you, I don't even want to see this corner anymore.
If that is enough to stop it, that will stop it.
They wanted to apologize for our broken windows, that it shouldn't have been, and they even offered to take up a collection to pay for our windows.
It will also withstand this type of a blow.
I expect to stay here as long as God gives me life.
No one knew exactly what to expect as we carried our wounds into the new year, only that we'd lived through trying times and that 1969 would be the year to rebuild.